Oh my God. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Catherine, and this is Off Topic with Catherine, where stories spill over, lessons get learned, life gets messy, just like it should. And once again, I want to wish everybody a wonderful day. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Siniyasas, everybody. I have a bit of a sore throat. This is why I sound like this. But I'm really happy that you've all decided to join me today. My dog Apollo is here once again, as usual. So if you see him strolling around or using his little barking voice, just, let him be. Anyways, today I have a topic that I want to share with you all. It's an experience that I lived when I was about 18, roughly 18, 19, 20. And I had a friend, a wonderful friend. His name was Kenny. Now, last time I didn't introduce the name of the topic because I wasn't quite sure how to call it. But this is what I came up with. Mean, stupid, or simply ignorant. Or maybe all of the above. Yes, that's the actual topic that I decided to call this episode, and you'll soon find out why. My friend Kenny and I met when we were working together at a grocer's when we were in our mid-teens. We were best friends, or he was one of my best friends, and Kenny was a black boy. Now, when I changed jobs, I was still in school, and I changed jobs, and I started working at another grocery store owned by a Greek family that had several actually at the time. And what happened is Kenny and I had this very innocent, normal friendship, and he would come and pick me up. Now, the first time he came to pick me up for my new workplace, I was still a student, so it was a part-time job. He picked me up, we went out, we had a wonderful time, and the next time I went back to work, the director, the owner actually of the grocery store calls me in and asks me who that young man is. And I said, oh, Kenny, that's my friend Kenny, we're very good friends. And he said, well, why does he come pick you up? I said, because he's my very good friend, and it's as simple as that. Now, the third time I went into work, one of my colleagues, one of the cashiers, actually, that's what I was, a cashier, came up to me and warned me and said to me, Catherine, be careful. And I was very surprised at that. And I said, well, be careful for what? And she said that, well, they're not happy with the relationship that you're having with your friend Kenny, and they are going to try to find a way to get rid of you. Now, when I heard that, I was shocked, hurt. I didn't understand what just happened. But at the same time, I became very nervous about the whole situation, never having thought about that before. So I thanked my friend for warning me, and I made sure that I wasn't going to do anything wrong to jeopardize that part-time cashier's job that I had while I was in school. Unfortunately, though, that was very short-lived because on that day, they kept hovering around me, coming around the place that I worked, the owners, that is. And I don't remember the exact details of the situation, but I do remember that it appeared that I had done something wrong, either with the pricing or something. And so they called me in the office, and they told me that they would be terminating my job as a cashier right there and then. Now, I asked them, to explain themselves, like what exactly is it that I did wrong, and they told me that they didn't needed to explain themselves any further, but simply that I made a mistake and that I needed to leave right there. So I had to go and get my shoes and change my shoes, and they escorted me out of the grocery store. I was devastated at the fact that, first of all, this had never ever happened to me before, and I really couldn't wrap my head around what exactly it is that I did. Now, as I went out of the grocery store, I didn't know what to do, and in a panic, I remember calling my brother and crying because there was no justification to this. And as I was leaning against the brick wall of the building, either their building or the building next to theirs, they came out and they told me that I needed to leave the grounds that where I was standing. And I said, well, that's a public space, it's a sidewalk, and I'm leaning against the cement wall. They were very harsh, very, very rude, and they told me that if I did not leave that area, that public sidewalk, that they would call the police. Now, I'm 17, 18, I don't remember how old I was, but I was very young, and that terrified me. Now, when my colleague told me to be careful, she also did explain to me that they had some serious problems with people that did not resemble them. And at that moment, I could understand if that was an act of meanness, stupidity, or simply ignorance, or all of the above. Because as I quickly learned, ignorance sometimes does wear a uniform of some sort, holds some type of power, is very pleasant to clients and to those that they want to be. And so is racism. I also learned at that particular moment that, or during that time in my life, that racism harms many, many people at the same time. And although I don't consider myself a victim, and I don't want to portray myself as a victim, that did harm me, because I had a friend who was Black, and because I did not accept to reject that friend, I refused to reject that friend. So that was their direct way of punishing me, and at the same time punishing my friendship with my friend Kenny. So this is simply a very unfortunate situation. There was nothing I could do about it at the time, but it did teach me several things about that particular group of people. And also the fact that if they didn't feel that I belonged there, or if I and my friendships made them uncomfortable, that meant that I was not acceptable enough to be part of their environment, their workplace. And so that's when I learned that unless you challenge that ignorance, it becomes very, very dangerous. I also learned at that time that, yes, it may be very possible that these men, because they were men, I mean, they could have been women, but they were men, were very much influenced by their upbringing, the way their parents thought or the way their parents felt about a particular group or groups of people. And therefore, this is where this was all coming from. But that's certainly not acceptable. And it does not make it right at all. We do at some point as adults, as we grow up, have to take responsibility for the changes that we want to make in our lives. So if we don't feel and agree with how we were brought up, in the sense that we don't agree with either our parents or our circle and their views and their values, then it's up to us to make those changes as we grow. And yes, although change might be a little bit difficult sometimes, and we might not always be getting the response that we want from those around us, and perhaps being looked at in a strange way as to why we feel that this change needs to happen, it's still up to us to do it. I'm very proud to say that I had no regrets with my leaving that place, because those people were not people that I valued and that I wanted in my life, whether I worked with them or for them. I maintained my friendship with Kenny for many, many, many years afterwards, and we remained very close friends, very good friends. And that's the way my story ends. Now, today's coffee wisdom is this, great coffee wisdom is this. Although we love our families, we love our parents, and we respect our parents, or we should respect our parents if they are respectable parents, we always want to maintain this closeness with them. It's okay to say, you know what? That's your opinion, and I can see why you have those opinions. But it's okay for me to have a different opinion. And that's when we begin to become stronger, wiser, and accept those around us who perhaps don't always fit the look that we think they should. Now, thank you for listening. And just remember, life's a little better when you go off topic. Thank you.